This is the new moon solar eclipse outlook that will occur on October 14th, 2023. And this is an annular solar eclipse. And this is considered what is called the Ring of Fire. Why? Because the moon will appear smaller in the sky, and it will not completely cover the sun, or so it will look from our vantage point here on Earth. And because of this, the effect will look like a ring of fire, a very brilliant and bright appearance in the sky. And it is a new moon in Libra. So let's look at each of the signs and rising signs for each of the 12 signs of the zodiac. The first one is Aries. And Aries, this solar eclipse and new moon in Libra will be in your 7th house. So all partnerships, romantic and business, will come under the microscope now. But it is a new moon, so it is a time for beginnings. So you may begin that very important business venture. You could also develop some very pivotal business partnerships and connections. You may, to some degree, Aries, come under the microscope for your connections and communications with those in the public or public eye. Also, the 7th house is dealing with legalities. There may be some important contracts or legal issues that you may have to resolve right now, or that may begin. And because the 7th house is connected with partnerships, romantically included, who knows? This could be a time when you either meet or you decide to take that very important connection to the next level. Now, the next sign is Taurus. And Taurus, for you, this new moon and solar eclipse in Libra will be in your 6th house. And 6th house is of work. It's employment. So issues with employment, your work, and that can be anything to do with employers, employees. This, for you, will become very important. Your daily mundane work will become much more highlighted. Perhaps you get that memorable job, Taurus or Taurus rising, that will give you much in the way of security. Who knows, you might even get that raise that you've been looking for. 6th house not only deals with employment and jobs, but it's about diet and exercise. So maybe at this time, Taurus rising, you're thinking about taking on diet and exercise regimes. And who knows, maybe you're thinking about going to the gym and making it a long-term thing, or maybe it's time to just get in shape and improve upon your health. Also, Taurus rising or Taurus sun, the 6th house also deals with our animal friends and pets. So there could be some kind of an issue over a pet, or this is a time that you may get a pet that is going to be very meaningful for you in days to come. Then we move on to the next sign or rising sign, which is Gemini. And Gemini, the New moon and solar eclipse is in your fifth house, and the fifth house is of speculation, it's of children, it's of pregnancies. Also, it's about our joy and our self-expression, how we express our joy. And there, at this time for you, Gemini rising, could be concerns about children, children's issues, pregnancies. Also, it's a very creative time for you. Maybe you're thinking about doing something over the internet, or you are involved with some type of project that is very creative and artistic at this time. And sometimes on occasions, fifth house, similar to 11th house, can be connected with inventions. Perhaps this is a time, Gemini rising or Gemini, that you are thinking about starting a family. And so these issues are going to be very, very pivotal and important in your life. But certainly it's a way for you to kind of think about taking that vacation or some time off, or really just thinking about ways of relaxing. Perhaps your life has become very stressful, Gemini, and now you need to look for times of downtime. This is a time when, yes, speculation. You might be gambling a little bit, Gemini rising, and who knows, with this very important connection, new moon and solar eclipse, you might, by all intent and purposes, win that lottery or win a gamble. And that could also include a business that pays off in years ahead. But these issues connected with the fifth house, your expression, creativity, joy, children's interests, and so on, are going to be the focus for you. And then we move on to the next rising sign or sign, which is Cancer. And Cancer, for you, the new moon solar eclipse is going to be in your fourth house, and the fourth house is a family. So family issues right now are going to be pivotal for you. Perhaps you, somewhat like the fifth house, are thinking about beginning a family, or maybe you are welcoming someone new into your household or your life, and there is an increase in your family or family structure. Also, you must be careful too and be very cautious regarding family communications. You don't want to let anything regarding the past or family become rather conflicting at this time. But generally, this is more positive, Cancer. And also, it may be a good time for what is Cancer? It is connected with house, the physical house. This may be a time, Cancer, when you think about buying or selling real estate. Maybe you're thinking about beginning a new career, flipping houses, or someone also from the past within your family could suddenly reappear on the scene. Also, it's a great time, especially if you've been putting off some of those renovations or repairs on your house. And you may also consider possibly making a move. Perhaps this is something that you've been putting on the back burner for quite some time, and now with this new moon and solar eclipse, it's time to take action and find somewhere else to live that you really are going to just feel so much more comfortable. And it's a time for security, protections, and who knows, maybe you're going to get that security system for your home that you've been thinking about. Then we move on to the next sign, which is Leo. And Leo, for you, this new moon solar eclipse is in your third house of communications. But third house is also, Leo, connected with travel. So maybe you're going to do some long distance or even local travel. Now, sometimes the third house is thought of as local travel, but yes, there can be an accent with long distance travel. Maybe you've wanted to take that important trip for a vacation or another important matter for quite some time, and now you're getting to do that. Also, the third house is connected with automobiles. So right now you may either purchase a new vehicle, or perhaps you're having to do some repairs on a vehicle of some type, a car, truck, what have you. But these are going to be concerns for you as well, or at least a focus. Also, the third house is dealing with neighbors. So maybe you'll either get to interact with your neighbors, or perhaps there will be some new communications, or who knows, you might get neighbors. Also, the third house deals with our local vicinity. Perhaps you will be really putting yourself out there within your locale, and really find that this time is very full of local activity with the people in your community. Also, the third house, of course, deals with communications. So right now, perhaps you're thinking about doing a lot of important writing that could be over the internet, socially, because your social communication will increase considerably right now, and that's whether you're communicating via the written word or the spoken word. Nonetheless, you're going to be rather restless, but it's a good time to meet new faces, go new places. It's a very busy time for you, Leo and Leo rising. Then we move on to the next sign, which is Virgo. Virgo and Virgo rising, for you, this new moon solar eclipse is going to be in your second house of money. So this is great for you, especially Virgo, if you've been really thinking about doing some investing. This is the time. Perhaps you've wanted to take on an extra job, maybe doing some moonlighting where you're getting some additional income, or similar to the second house, you may be considering a new source of income. Maybe you're thinking about starting a business, but this would be a rather profitable business for you. And any returns on any investments would also prove to be very profitable for you as well. But nonetheless, your thoughts right now, because it is the second house, is much to do with anything monetary, whether you're investing, whether you're banking, perhaps you're thinking about opening that savings or bank account that you've wanted, and somehow this is also going to give you a good return on your money. Perhaps you could be thinking about going into partnership with someone, or seeking those out that have much to do with money and finances. But all forms of money, whether it be employment, whether it be investing, however it is going to be very pivotal for you. But also, what else is the second house, Virgo? It's about our values. So right now, you're really going to be giving some serious thought to what you value in life. And this is a time that you may be purchasing, buying, or selling quite a bit of your valuables. Maybe you're doing a little clearinghouse at this time, or having those important yard sales. Also, the second house deals with our speech. So you're going to be either very attractive about what you say, because we're talking Libra and the solar eclipse, which will be a very effective style, whatever you have to say, Virgo rising. Or perhaps this is a time that you are literally going to be giving speeches to individuals. Also, the second house deals with food. So, culinary, anything, food, somehow is going to be of a lot of thought and focus for you. And then we move on to the next sign, which is Libra. And my goodness, Libra, you have got this new moon and solar eclipse in your first house. And that's of the rising signs, that's going to be extremely important. Because why? Because the first house is our appearance. It's our first handshake. So right now, Libra, with this new moon and solar eclipse of all the signs, you really want to make some serious changes in your life. Whether that's your appearance, you might be changing up your style a little bit, maybe getting that haircut, or however it is, maybe you just want to come across to others more effectively. But it's all about your appearance, whether that's your physical appearance or it is the way and the style of which you come across. But because this is additionally a solar eclipse and new moon for you, Libra, you are going to have a special effect on other people. And because it is a new moon and solar eclipse, you're going to have a lot of magnetism too, Libra rising. So don't be surprised if you find that you're very popular now. For whatever reason, people are seeking you out for answers, and you, on the other hand, might be seeking other people for answers. It's a very social time for you, a time of meeting new individuals in your life. And really also, because we're talking, this is a solar eclipse and a new moon, it's really the need for fresh starts. Perhaps right now you are really doing some soul searching and thinking about the new direction or new directions that you want your life to go in, because it's the first house. So everything right now is magnified just a little bit more for you. But the downside with this new moon and solar eclipse in your first house, Libra, could also be that you have a lot of emphasis on who? You. So that's great. But you also are taking in a lot of energy, which is great. You're really making some changes in your life, but you want to think about also putting out energy. In so many words, you might want to think about helping other people, because you're going to be so sought after at this time. The focus now may be on your personal giving nature, your sense of harmony and cooperating with other people. And that's going to be the effect that you will have on others. And you will be thought of with this connection with your first house new moon as a bit of a leader, Libra rising. And it's a great time for fresh starts with all communications and all relationships. Now we have then Scorpio rising, and Scorpio, this new moon solar eclipse will for you be in your 12th house. And what is the 12th house? Well, the 12th house is that of Pisces, the behind the scenes, and yes, secrets. And right now, with the new moon and solar eclipse in your 12th house, this is a time where, well, because it's in your 12th house, you will find it very rewarding for some downtime right now. This is a time, because it's the 12th house, this is a time when you may feel like you want to take on more behind the scenes activity. Perhaps your thoughts are more introspective and reflective now. And that's where a lot of your energy is going to be. Not so much about putting yourself out there, but really going within. Meditation, yoga, maybe even astrology or the metaphysical will be very appealing and very attractive to you now. And because the 12th house is kind of a hidden house, you may find some information that was what? Hidden from you. And this is information that you want to bring out, but you can't do that now. But within the next 30 days, that will be the time for you, Scorpio rising, for action. And Scorpio loves the hidden mysteries. So this is a time you may be discovering not just secrets, but that which is unknown, either because you discover some information. Yes, a secret was told to you, and this is something that you really feel like you must keep to yourself. So, although yes, the Libra new moon and the solar eclipse is in a house that's somewhat that is hidden, it's also going to be very rewarding for you because it is about reflecting. And also, similar to the 6th house, what is the 12th house, Scorpio or Scorpio rising? It is about our health. To some degree, maybe there are some health issues that you feel like you have to tend to at this particular time. And not just physically, mentally, it's a good time. Maybe you're thinking about going for some counseling, or maybe you really feel, because it's an emotional house, it's connected with Pisces, you really feel very sensitive right now. And you really want to open up and express your emotions to someone, whether it's a dear friend, family, or that particular special someone, a counselor. And it's also a time that you may do some charity work because you may feel so compassionate and so moved and emotional right now. This will also be a wonderful time for your wonderful giving nature, Scorpio or Scorpio rising. Then we move on to Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, for you, this new moon and solar eclipse will be in your house of friends. Also, the 11th house is about our activities, and it's about acquaintances. Yes, one of the bits of information that's not too discussed about the 11th house. It's not just about those that you already knew, like the friends you've had for many years. Yes, this is a time that you and your friends may get together, or this is a time that perhaps one of your friends has some issues that they need to discuss with you, or it's just a time that you and your friends may be involved with some activities, group activities. But one of the things, getting back to that, that is not so much discussed about the 11th house is acquaintances. So there may be some new faces that come into your life right now, Sagittarius. Some new faces. you're going new places because the 11th house is a house of activity. It's also the house of our hobbies too, kind of similar to the fifth house. So you may be developing some new creative endeavors right now. And because the 11th house is connected not just with friends, but it's connected with other people, groups, whether it's a group of people, one-on-one. This is a time you may find that you and other people are getting together for joint ventures, joint projects, business. You may even decide that you want to start a business, and this is either with other people or you feel like you need to bounce around ideas because the 11th house is the house of Aquarius, and so you want to get other individuals take on your creativity or some of your business adventures right now, and that's a positive. And 11th house, to some degree, somewhat similar to here, the ninth or the third house, is all about gaining in information. So you may find that some people, whether it's friends or acquaintances, right now really bring you some really privy or important information that you could use right now for whatever you're involved with or just for your information. And this could be very important for you in the future. It's a time that you're not only creative, but this is also connected with what? The social internet, the social media. So this is a time perhaps you're going to do something very social over the internet. Perhaps you're going to think about starting a YouTube channel, or perhaps you're going to be very highlighted on some of the social media. And this is going to be somehow very important to you personally, possibly socially, for business. So you may find yourself quite popular now indeed too. Sagittarius, also a good time if you're thinking about that invention with this solar eclipse and new moon. Then we move on to Capricorn, and Capricorn, for you, this new moon and solar eclipse is going to be in your 10th house, and that's extremely important to you, Capricorn, because you rule the 10th house. So your ambitions right now are going to be extremely heightened, especially with the solar eclipse and over the next 30 days, because if there's been a career that you've wanted to begin and you've been putting that on the back burner, this is the time that you may begin that new career or that new business. Or perhaps you feel like in your job that you've wanted a promotion, you've wanted some kind of notice, and guess what, Capricorn, this is going to be the time for you, because the 10th house is connected with the midheaven, and that also to some degree deals with the public eye. So right now you are going to be very sought after for your advice. People are going to look to you as a very important person. And it's a great time not just to advance in your career, but as stated, it's going to be a good time that you may think about starting other businesses, or maybe you're taking that hobby of yours to the next level, and now this becomes more of a serious business than just a hobby or just a project on the back burner. Also, the 10th house, Capricorn rising, is also connected with what? It's connected with our reputation. So this is a new moon and solar eclipse. So yes, indeed, Capricorn or Capricorn rising, you are going to shine during this time. If you've wanted to promote your business or promote you, your image, This is the time, Capricorn, because similar to the first house, people are going to seek you out because you are just the go-to person that people want to be around. It seems like you've got the answers. But not only that, because we're talking the 10th house, you're going to have more opportunity. So if there's opportunities that you've not really wanted to take advantage of right now, this is the time. Opportunity and those doors for you, Capricorn, are just going to open up and you are really gonna shine. I mean, people just want to give you work. They want to talk with you. They want to get your advice. And not only that, to some degree, Capricorn, the 10th house is about working with other people because you're going to also be so magnetic with regards to your career and business. People are going to just want to seek you out, not just for advice, but they may want to work with you. But everything and anything dealing with your work and career right now, Capricorn, is going to shine. Yes, indeed. And then we've got from Capricorn, we've got Aquarius. And for you, Aquarius, this new moon and solar eclipse is going to be in your 9th house. And the 9th house is what? The 9th house is considered that of the higher mind. So right now, you may want to go back to school, Aquarius, or get more information if you can't get back to school. This is a time when you may be doing some serious study, uh, or you may be doing some serious research. And there may be some topics that you've really wanted to delve into, and you've been putting that on the back burner. And this is the time maybe you might start in on new study or new schooling. This is the time for anything, for expanding your mind, for research, you name it. And the 9th house, although is considered long distance travel, in general, somewhat like the 3rd house, it is connected with travel of all kinds. So you might be traveling because of school, traveling because of your work, or some of the research you're doing. And this can be all too good. You're kind of expanding your mind. And the 9th house is all about our belief systems and our opinions. So right now, Aquarius, especially because Aquarius are very strong in their beliefs and their opinions, right now you may feel like there's a particular topic or topic that has really grabbed your attention, and you want to do some study to really kind of look into things a little bit more of what really has grabbed your attention. And so you're going to be doing some investigating along those lines. Very enriching time for you mentally. And you may be doing some, yes, could even be quite a bit of some local travel, even though the 9th house is considered long distance, but it's about traveling in the mind, and it's great for imagination. Also, the 9th house is connected with that which is foreign, or those from other countries. Who knows, maybe right now you're going to be meeting a lot of different individuals from different cultures, different areas. This might even be a time, Aquarius or Aquarius rising, you might be thinking about taking up that language, that new language that you've been putting off. It's a time for all kinds of belief. And yes, the 9th house also deals with that which is religious or political. And these interests may also be a focus for you. Then finally, we're going to move to Pisces or Pisces rising. And the new moon solar eclipse for you, Pisces, is the 8th house. In the 8th house, oh my, is that which deals with depth. And you can relate to that, Pisces, because you're connected with the 12th house. And that is to some degree also connected with depth. And the 8th house is connected with Scorpio. And it's also an emotional house. So right now, for you, Pisces rising, there may be an issue that has come to your attention that is a very a deeply effective issue for you that you may have to either close the book on, even though we are talking about a new moon and solar eclipse. It is dealing with the 8th house, which deals with, for the most part, endings. So there is going to be, yes, a deeply moving issue in your life that you either have to close the book on or that you have to give some serious thought to. Perhaps this emotional issue you thought you were going to close the book on, but on the other hand, you may have to consider beginning again. This could be connected with a relationship that has been maybe very trying to you, that you feel like you have to close the book, and what? You have to get a new start, because also the 8th house deals with endings, but it also deals with beginnings. So you may have to close the book on something to begin again emotionally. But it's about self-discovery, kind of like your house, Pisces rising of the 12th house. You are really going within. This is a very deep house. And intimacy might be very rewarding for you at this time. And also, this is a time you too, Pisces, may be really thinking about either one, opening up and really having a deep heart-to-heart one-on-one with some friends or relatives, or you, Pisces rising, may be considering some counseling or really talking things out with those that you need to open up to. But it's definitely about really going within and doing some soul searching. And because the 8th house is connected with Scorpio, uh, it's about transformation. Maybe your emotions lately have been a little bit up and down lately because of some issues. And now you are taking the time to transform your life. What changes do you need to see? And how that affects your psyche and affects you emotionally in the future. But yes, the 8th house deals with beginnings and endings. So there may be some endings for you in your life at this time. Yes, indeed. But also, the 8th house is dealing with those that are in position of government or authority, so that you may also be dealing with a lot of people right now, Pisces or Pisces rising, that are in authority. It's also a good time, additionally, to look into, say, spiritual issues or that which deals with the unknown, perhaps the metaphysical or spiritual, that can be also very rewarding to you as well, Pisces. So this is going to be a very enlightening and certainly a very effective new moon and solar eclipse.